Bien dice un viejo refrán que el futuro es ahora. Y no existe un mejor lugar en el mundo para ver lo que el futuro nos depara que el festival South by Southwest.
It's another big year for South by Southwest Interactive.
Machine learning and artificial intelligence is definitely the future.
La inteligencia artificial es cada vez más popular y ya estamos conviviendo con esta tecnología en nuestra vida cotidiana.
One of the big trends for this year, big themes, is artificial intelligence. We're seeing that in a lot of different panel sessions and a lot of panel sessions that are very, very popular. I think people are very curious about this new technology, very curious how it will impact their lives in positive ways and maybe less positive ways also.
People are starting to see it in their lives and realizing as they use it for very consumer-driven usages. Like I said, the photos, the maps, all those types of applications. And then I think what's been fun for us is to also see it transitioning into more business usages as well.
I think we're really just at the tip of the iceberg on what this stuff can do. I mean, we're seeing more and more chatbot functionality. South by Southwest has a chatbot this year. We're seeing things like Alexa from Amazon. But we'll begin to see even more of that type of stuff in future years and future decades.
And I think there's a lot of usage that people don't even realize they're personally doing. So if you use social media, you use Facebook, whatever, all that tagging of you and your friends and your family and applications, and now you can share them anywhere and it can tag it. You don't have to do albums. It just figures it all out for you and classifies it and can find you, groups, kids, selfies. And that's all AI driven and real use and has changed industry. So now there's thousands of software engineers that work on what's essentially the human need to connect and share.
Y las industrias ya están usando la tecnología artificial en sus maquinarias, con dispositivos como este brazo robótico que aprende con el toque humano.
The new technologies like the human-robot collaboration, the LVR-EWAR, you're able to bridge the gap. So I could stand very safely next to the robot because we have the intelligence sensor built in, so the robot would know where the human is, where the obstacle is, so you won't get hurt. One of the things that you will see here is actually how soft the robot is. The robot could actually learn about the human intent, so I could very easily use my hand, just push it around very safely and actually be able to interact with the machines. Those are the things that we're doing is how do we couple the machine data to the environmental data as well as the human data so we could actually develop things like artificial intelligence and developing new technologies for human-robot collaboration.
La gran discusión de este año en el South by Southwest fue el uso de la inteligencia artificial en el transporte. Autos que no necesitan un conductor estarán en la vía en menos tiempo del que imaginamos.
Some of the ones that we focused in on were autonomous driving, which is, very big and hot. But if you look at the reality of needing to have your car actually communicate with everything around it and understand what it's seeing, like literally what is it seeing and how to react, that's a really big compute problem.
En el stand de Intel, el público pudo ver cómo funciona la tecnología utilizada en los carros de conducción autónoma.
You could hold up tons of different items or a physical item and it would tell you what it was seeing instantaneously and its confidence level. So I did one that was a picture of a cat and a dog and it was like 100% cat, 98% dog, based on machine learning as a broad category of AI and the deep learning training as well that goes into creating the models. So first the model is created and learned and then it gets inferred or scored against. So it's always checking back with itself, and as it gets confirmed yes, it gets stronger. As it gets no, it gets stronger as well because it learns okay, what if no, what was the difference? What confused me? And so that's some of the power of AI is these self-driven learning. So it's not that there's always a software programmer that's writing yes, this is a cat. It's that it's learning from itself. So it's kind of a evolutionary cycle.
If these so-called experts are right, these newfangled bots, the automated intelligence, robots, augmented intelligence, increased intelligence, whatever you want to call it, they'll be doing more and more human-like functions in the future. We've all heard at this point the idea that, you know, the biggest single job out there is truck driving, and that most of that will be automated fairly soon. And so neat, that may make it safer because machines may be safer than truck drivers, but again, what do you do with all those people who won't have jobs?
Una función esencial de la tecnología es servir de plataforma para que los artistas se expresen. Y en este festival pudimos ver los ejemplos más divertidos.
My name is Arthur Simone. I am an Austin-based actor, improviser, and artist, and founder of Bot Party, which is a collective of humans and robots working together on live theatrical productions.
Hello, my name is Annabella. I'm a robot with Bot Party, an interactive human and robot experience.
So they are interactive robots that can deliver lines that are either scripted or improvised.
Chill out, brother.
Yes, she could recognize faces and expressions. She could recognize speech and turn it into text and generate a response to it like a chatbot and then spit it back out.
Do not get fresh with me.
There is a notion of algorithmic theater where you can basically put two chatbots talking to one another and they'll just go down the rabbit hole in what they want to talk about. So the challenge is to keep it relevant, to keep it pertinent, to understand the context of what's going on. It's a very high-tech way of delivering really silly jokes.
Could you help me find a gun?
My degree is in classical music. I play the viola professionally. And left to my own devices, the sort of music I compose is a little bit strange, and I really could just never find a drummer that wanted to play the same kind of music that I play. My wife joins me in the project. It's called Pony Trap. So at some point, we just decided that we could build a drummer. And it goes. You can see on the laptop how it's written as notation. So each one of these notes just represents a stick on the machines, and then that notation stores into a file like this, and our software grabs that file and turns it into ons and offs. This is a great example. So this serial cable will talk to this Arduino, which is a programmable art chip that you can get that makes doing this sort of stuff accessible to people like me who don't have that kind of formal training. So it'll talk to the Arduino. The Arduino turns on some little switches. These are transistors. And in this case, that just runs the motor directly. On the bigger machines, because we're running more power,
Una versión que ya fue novedad en ediciones anteriores. Está más que establecido que su uso es cada vez más variado.
I think we're only in the beginning of VR. It's only just starting, and the technology is now just becoming available. It's becoming ready for the potential that VR has. But the potential of the storytelling is infinite.
The most creative people, of which I hope we have a lot of, think of new ways to use this stuff. And inevitably, we invent a device or a technology, a gadget for one thing. Inevitably, its main use is something else.
Birdly is all about full body immersion virtual reality. So a lot of the VR you see right now, it's only visual or it's only sound, but everything is involved. All the senses are engaged. Your whole body is in the experience, as well as what you feel, what you see, and what you hear.
Watch out for the giant angry monkey.
Why didn't anyone come up with it before? Everyone has this dream of being a bird. In the whole history of humanity, every culture, there has been this dream of flying. This experience really gives you that feeling of being a bird. And we always say, if you dream about it afterwards, we've achieved what you wanted. As you fly faster, the wind increases. So it really gives a real feeling. And obviously you have the HMD, where you see what you're doing and you're using the hardware to completely navigate your own flight.
Nice, man. I'm glad you enjoyed.
November 4, 0.
We have a film called The Mummy coming out. Then when they were filming, Tom Cruise does his own stunts. So when we heard that Tom was going to do a stunt in zero-G in a plane, we knew we wanted to be there with him. And with the new 360 technology, we could actually take people on the plane and watch him do the stunt in zero gravity. The minute that I sat in the chair, I realized we need to combine this with this mummy piece we're working on. We were already working on it. So how fast can you make 20 chairs? It's a way to view virtual reality cinema, really. It guides you through an experience so you can tell stories with the chair. And that's kind of been the big struggle in virtual reality of telling stories, because you can't guarantee where people are going to look. So you want them to look over there, but maybe they're looking over there. And that's not good when you're trying to tell a story. So the chair helps with that. It will guide you through a virtual reality experience and make sure you're looking in the general right direction.
We inject the aircraft into an orbit. You are in free fall, you are weightless.
Marketing, we want to engage with people and we want to talk to fans and get them to want to see our movies, right? So a 360 is a way that we can actually take them to a film set, and have them be next to their stars that they really like, and have them see the process and experience the process and feel the process in a completely different way.
It started out, it was just like a flat video piece that I worked on, and it was showing at a gallery, and they really, like a week before the show, really wanted something interactive.
A lot of times you go into a museum and you're not allowed to touch anything, right? And now you can do the opposite. You can get inside of it, you can play with it, you can interact with it directly, which is really cool. And I think the other thing for me about this work is that it looks kind of very abstract, and yet people have very strong feelings about it, and I don't know, immersing people in color and how does this affect our senses and how does this work on people is a really interesting area.
I thought everyone would be making games because we're all game makers. So I pitched, let's not do a game. Let's do some kind of narrative experience.
Seance is a story of tragedy. People who have committed a crime and are going to be faced with justice for that crime. So long ago in their history, they did something terrible, and now the ghosts from their past are coming back to haunt them. And they're going to face some very scary and unfortunate situations. If they've been able to keep it on for 20 minutes and not rip it off screaming, then like you did, then I think that'll be just fine.
I never knew an empty house could be so crowded.
Otro gran tema del South by Southwest fue el uso de la inteligencia artificial en la salud.
I think also what's popular and a lot of momentum is the various health-related sessions. We were lucky enough yesterday to have former Vice President Joe Biden talk about cancer.
My name's Joe Biden. I am Jill Biden's husband.
That was the only thing I've seen so far, but very, very moving. I had tears in my eyes by the end of his talk.
Guess what? The only bipartisan thing left in America is the fight against cancer.
Thank you all.
The other area in AI for Good where we've invested a lot is in cancer, personalized treatments for cancer. So we have a goal that by 2020, all in one day, you'd be able to get your genome sequenced and your tumor images mapped and compared to literally hundreds of thousands of other people that are like you and have the same tumor, and then come up with a very personalized treatment plan, but all in a day, instead of it taking months and specialists and so many appointments. So really democratizing access to better healthcare.
El interés por la tecnología comienza desde muy temprano, y aquí jugar con robots es un asunto común.
We're selling a smartphone kit called Bots Alive that takes these hexbug spiders, they're remote control toys, and makes them come to life, makes them artificially intelligent. They solve mazes, they'll be teachable, and it supports 2 robots, and they'll compete, race, and interact socially. We're intentionally making the artificial intelligence to be unpredictable. You have like a vague idea of what it's going to do, but it will often surprise you.
So we have a pretty developed technology program at Anderson High School to where there are 20 different engineering courses. It's really important to get a jump start on teaching important skills if we're going to produce more engineers and teach real technology that's important for us to be leading the way in innovation and to solve a lot of our real-world problems.
Y las niñas también son estimuladas a interesarse por la tecnología.
Chick Tech is a local nonprofit that focuses on getting high school girls interested in a career in tech. And we're interested in particular in the girls whose parents maybe aren't pushing them this way or who don't have this opportunity any other way without our free programming. And I am finding a lot of girls coming to us and saying, we want to participate, we want to be part of this program. Those girls, they're not exactly our audience because we're trying to get the girls who aren't interested. And so what we do with those girls that are so excited and want to learn is we bring them in as volunteers and then they help their peers in these workshops. And so we get, them being taught by their peers so that hopefully it builds their confidence and shows them that other girls like them can do this work.
I have been at Intel for 16 years, and I do remember distinctly remember starting on a team of all men, supporting a group of all men in all men meetings, and sitting there at 22 years old being like, this is kind of strange. Like, I haven't had this experience in my life before where you're the only one. And it really is kind of those defining moments, and you say, I wonder if this is the best thing. When you're the only one, it can be harder to get your voice heard. It can be harder to have the seat at the table. And it can also be harder for groups to think creatively about solutions. I have really enjoyed, as I've risen to more senior positions, being able to give back and drive inside of Intel and in the industry as well, because it is so important to have diverse teams and women in technology as leaders.
HBO no podía quedar fuera y puso al público a usar su cabeza para escapar de las salas temáticas dedicadas a sus series.
It's really cool. We got to develop an escape room for 3 of HBO's properties, Veep, Silicon Valley, and Game of Thrones. What happens is fans enter the Oval Office, the incubator from Ulrich's house, and Castle Black, or the walls of Castle Black, and they have to solve a series of challenges within 5 minutes to try and ascend the throne at the end to win the game. Everybody's having a really good time. It's like silly, great, fan-based fun. The reactions have been really, really positive. I think everybody has enjoyed the surprises within the rooms.
It was super fun. I like the different themes of all the other different rooms. It was very relatable to the TV show, so you feel like you're actually on the sets, which I really liked. And then it was really fun to work with new people, different people to get out of the rooms.
Well, I learned that I'm not very smart, and I should trust other people, and I'm more scared by people moving than I thought I would be.
It was outstanding. All 3 of them were super immersive and just had crazy stuff going out. Like, you just open a drawer and like ping pong balls would shoot out.
Definitely worth the wait, and also it's a good team building exercise.
Yeah. We only beat the last 2 rooms. We only beat Game of Thrones and Silicon Valley. Veep was tough.
In the end, you get to sit on the Iron Throne, which is like the biggest prize of all. It's what everybody wants to do.
Conéctate con las novedades musicales y tecnológicas del South by Southwest en 2 programas exclusivos, aquí en HBO Plus.
Was that cute?
I don't think so.